Yesterday, the Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, said something quite extraordinary. Well, for him, because he actually got off the fence and decided to say something and make a stand. And it was this: Netanyahu, he said, referring to the Israeli Prime Minister, has lost the plot, which I have to say is almost like, well, I don't know, using the C word for Christopher Luxon, because in actual fact, it actually meant something, what he'd said. But for all the parliamentary paroxysms on this and all the throwing out of Chloe Swarbrick from Parliament, fanned and fomented this whole issue on Gaza by a frenetic media, it has to be said, in New Zealand. Where's the same fervour, I'm asking this morning, passion, emotionalism about kids in New Zealand? We're extraordinarily upset, and understandably, I suppose, because it's a human reaction, to the stories that emanate coming out of Gaza about children being killed, being maimed, being mutilated, starving, apparently, in many reports that we've seen. And so this has led to extraordinary scenes in Parliament over this last week, and a passion that I've rarely seen, to be honest with you. People getting angry and upset and standing on their principles and prepared to give up days of pay, apparently, for it as well. But all I'm asking is, where's the same, as I said, fervour, passion, sincerity about kids in New Zealand who are similarly killed, maimed, abused and neglected, and have been for decades just down the road? You know, here we are going on about starving kids in Gaza, and I understand it's a perfectly normal and human response, but we then turn a blind eye to the systemic neglect and abuse and, I don't know, the Kaikois and the Kaitaias, the Wairos, the Wanganuis. And this purposeful blinding that discredits all who are equally, it would seem, blind. Politicians, policymakers, media, bureaucrats, no one wants to know. So we get really passionate about kids you know nothing about, that don't live in this country, they're caught up in a war and a conflict that makes no sense at all on another side of the world, but you won't turn around, just look behind you at the starving, neglected, abused, maimed, and killed kiddies of this country. I'd love to see that same passion from my politicians and policymakers, considering our own. But no. If they spent half the time, energy, the faux concern and the theatrics of this past month, our endemic child abuse in this country, I have to say, we'd be halfway to finding a solution. But no, let's go and worry about those children over there, not the ones that we're responsible for. What are your thoughts?